now.
No, we're not.
All right. Hold on, I'm about to
Bill, edit.
Oh.
So I got the recording, but I hit it. I already hit it.
Bill, stop being a boomer. Get back.
All right, I'm back. Okay. All right, I got it. What's up, everybody? Bill Tendo here, and we're going to do us a speed run today, except we're going to do it a little bit differently because we have the whole cast of the arcade cabinet on, and it's not just Bill and a friend day. So,
Bill and friends.
we got Jenny, a.k.a. Fiery Fox 10. We got Sharon, the artist Harrington, and we got Markivius Furious Nias. And of course, you got me, Bill Tendo, but that's the unimportant part in this current situation. So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Bad video game ports. How about that?
Bad video game ports. You got it. Mortal Kombat, Super Nintendo.
The sweat.
Yep, it was sweat instead of blood.
Right. Yeah.
That was weird, man. Now, on the other hand, let's jump across the aisle right there. Sega Genesis had a terrible port of Street Fighter because at the time they only had the 3-button controller. So they should because you had to hit the start to switch between punches and kicks. So they shouldn't have ported that until the 6-button controller was common.
But what about the sound though? The voices, they sound muffled. That was horrible too.
Oh,
but you know what? To me, music sounded better on the Sega Genesis. It sounded more like the arcade.
Yeah, true.
It's the blast processing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's faster. What about Bad Dudes? Did you like the port for the Nintendo? Good or bad port?
It was decent. I mean, for what it was for the time.
Yeah, it was just a beat 'em up. Like, who cares? It was a decent beat 'em up. You know.
I'll tell you what was a bad port. Afterburner was a bad port.
For the Sega Genesis? Yeah.
Not it wasn't. I never thought it was a good game to begin with. Afterburner, Top Gun is like one of the worst games, man. I don't know why everybody has that in their NES collection. Every time I come across one, it's going up for sale. $5, you can have it because I don't want it.
All right. Oh, man. How about this one? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game.
Yeah, that was not a good port.
You're talking about 2 for the Sega the SNES?
No, the one arcade game for Nintendo.
Yeah, it was part 2 because they came out with the first one that was kind of different, and then it was Turtles 2, the arcade game.
So yeah, what they had was TMNT, and then they had TMNT, the arcade game, and the arcade was a bad port, man. That didn't feel anything like the arcade game.
Nah, it was on 2 players. Yeah.
So, Jen, what game do you think was a bad port?
I'm gonna be fucking real with you. I don't know what a port is.
Oh, so
take a game from one place and put it on another. Say you have the new Super Mario 3D All Stars originally came out on Nintendo 64, GameCube, and Wii, but now it's on the Switch. So that's a port. They took it off of one console and put it on another.
It's the same port.
I can't even think of a game that I've played that would fit. Like, I mean, I played Pokemon on multiple. I can't think of one that was bad for me.
I got one for you.
Altered Beast.
That wasn't too bad.
Altered Beast sucked on the Sega Genesis.
I think it was a bad port. Altered Beast. How about Pac-Man for the tour?
That's true. It was a terrible port. It was probably the most popular Atari game behind Yar's Revenge, and it was a terrible port. It had a brown screen, man.
I think it was even more fucked up than that. E.T.
Oh, E.T. Well, we already talked about E.T. E.T. kind of, yeah.
That wasn't a port.
Nah.
Yeah. So that is what it is. You know, there are like big differences in a lot of games. Say like Skyrim is ported to every console, right? And there's going to differences in gameplay between each console, and there's certain games that people just don't want to touch the port.
Yeah.
What game was it? One of Resident Evils the other day. I think it was Resident Evil 6. Somebody was like going on about it at the local game shop while I was there because they thought the Xbox 360 version was absolutely terrible and the PlayStation 3 version was really, really good.
What about the Force Awakens? Didn't those ports different from the Wii to?
Oh yeah, the Force. They change ports so much sometimes that there was a Marvel Ultimate Alliance was on PS3, it was on Xbox 360, and it was on the Wii. But the crazy thing is, it was a different developer entirely that did the Wii port. It's a whole different game. They're not even the same.
All right, I got. What about Moonwalker? Those are actually pretty good ports, though.
Moonwalker, because Moonwalker, the arcade was asymmetric, and then the Sega game was more like Shinobi.
Yeah, and then there was another one that you don't know about. There was actually, I think, maybe two more. One of them was on Sega Master System. There was one on there.
Oh, yeah, they had the Moonwalker for that one.
And I believe that there was maybe like one more. Maybe it was like on Commodore or something like that. I'm not sure, but there was another. I think there was another version of it. But I never played anything past the Sega Genesis.
Okay, I got one for you. Two Crude Dudes.
I never played that.
The port from the arcade to the Sega Genesis was totally different.
Yeah, I wasn't really into it. I didn't play it in arcade. I didn't play it at home.
How about Turtles?
They dropped Skyrim on the Switch, and I do want to try that. See what that's like.
I think it could be interesting, but at the same time,
You don't Skyrim. Your opinion doesn't count.
No. It's interesting. I'm not worried about Skyrim. The point is, the Switch is severely underpowered in relation to the Xbox One and the PS4. So to take a game that's very what's that?
Well, like, how do you figure?
By all technical specs, the Switch is behind. That's why Switch has its very own style. Now, Nintendo does a great job with having a very specific style for their consoles that handle their hardware a certain way to get the quality that they want to get. But when you look at CPU processing power, when you're looking at ramming, when you're looking at buffering and all of the components, the Switch is far behind the Xbox and the PlayStation.
Why does Nintendo?
What's that?
Why does Nintendo do that? I mean, I think they've been behind since the Wii, right? As far as the.
No, they were actually behind with the Super Nintendo. If you think about it, when the Super Nintendo moved on, look, Sega went up to the 32X, and then Nintendo was still pumping Super Nintendo. Sega went to the Sega Saturn. Nintendo's still pumping the Super Nintendo. It was around that time that they finally said, okay, we're going to a Nintendo 64. They jumped the 32-bit era completely. They didn't go there.
Yeah, they did.
Nintendo's always done that, and Nintendo can get away with it because they build the absolute best games that their systems can run, and there's a very distinct style. Don't get me wrong, I love Nintendo, but in terms of technical specifications, they've pretty much always been behind the competition. But what they lose in that, they greatly add in, quality control and playability and fun factors for their games.
Because it's like people know that. People know that. Like, they know that when they buy Skyrim for the Switch, they're ready for that. So, like, I don't feel like it's going to be a problem. They know that the graphics are going to be different. They know it's going to be a different experience. Like, that's what I want about it. I have it for Xbox. I could play it on Xbox right now, but I cannot play it on Switch right now because I don't have one. I want to do that. And I can plug it into my TV and play with the Joy-Cons. Like,
Switch is pretty cool. I'm gonna admit, I don't play it a lot, but I actually like my Nintendo Switch. It's not too bad.
Yeah. I enjoy it too.
Portable, I kind of like in the car, whatever.
After the Wii U, I kind of been leery of the Switch, but I'm not gonna lie. I saw somebody with the portable one when I was on a flight, and I'm like, damn, that looks like fun.
Right? It looks fun. I see people all the time.
Now, Mark, I don't like what you just said because I feel like you're disparaging the Wii U, and I think the Wii U is probably the most underrated console ever made. I love it so much, man. I'm just getting into it over the last 6 months. It's so great. The Switch is great. It's obviously more powerful, more portable. Things look better on it. Everybody slept on the Wii U, man. It had so much to offer.
I feel like because we've been there before, and the only reason why I feel bad is because I was a Sega, and then you got the 32X, the Sega CD, and then the Saturn, and then they just stopped supporting it. I feel like the Wii got that, and after you have that once by a company, you're kind of like, I think I'm a
yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's a good line, a good analogy to draw is the 32X era to the Wii U, because the Wii U was its own separate console, but even people that were casual gamers thought that it was just an add-on for the Wii, so they weren't buying it, but it was its own console, whereas a 32X, if you didn't buy games specifically for the 32X, you weren't playing it, but you had to attach it to Genesis.
Yeah.
It was a whole
monster.
It was too complex to just throw out there on the shelf. People need to see what the difference was.
I like what you guys said because you speak to how Nintendo does make fun games. I mean, look at the Wii; it survived with less specs, but the games were like you have in the back of your thing. They had that original quality seal. Like you can't. I think when you said that about the games and being fun, I sat there and thought, I was like, you know what? Nintendo has always had fun games, no matter what. So
you also got to start thinking. Not every parent wants their child playing like a mature rated game, and Nintendo's not really going to have a lot of that. They're just going to focus on fun and color and more primary style games.
Yeah, look, you can't beat Nintendo first party games. They are top of the line, the best. PlayStation has exclusives, but they don't have the quality and fun and replayability of Nintendo first party games. They don't have their own Pokemon, they don't have their own Mario, they don't have their own Zelda. Like, when one of these games comes out, a new one, it is going to be a very well crafted game, very polished, and a lot of fun to play.
No, and it speaks to because I held on to my Wii for a long time, man, and then once I got up to a Xbox, I was like, damn, HD, oh my goodness, but
it's funny you mentioned that, and I'm gonna just say this real quick before I wrap us up, but HD was already impending, and everybody knew it. They were already making HD TVs, and for some reason, Nintendo decided not to make the Wii HD capable when they very easily could have. Anyway, we're running low on time, so we're gonna wrap this up. Anybody want to give a shout out to anything they're working on?
Well, Twitch. Find me on Twitch.
Twitch, Fiercely Speaking, Nias Media Roku channel. You can catch us on their Arcade Cabinet Facebook and YouTube channel. We're also on Amazon Alexa and also Amazon Music. Oh, Amazon. Yeah, Alexa's talking to me right now.
Stop saying the name.
You can catch me out on Facebook, and yeah, I'm Your Perfect Studio, Sharon Harrington.
Awesome. And I'm Bill Tendo. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. And I want to thank everybody for watching and listening, because without our listeners, we'd just be over here talking to ourselves.
Exactly. Peace.